Oh, look who it is.
Hi, Richie.
Hey, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute.
It really has been, and we're both wearing black. I don't know what that means, but black is beautiful, so we do know that at least. But you look good as always.
Thank
It's
you.
nice
So
to
do
know
you.
that. Well, thank you, baby. It's nice to know that you aren't traveling around the world, forgetting about the Sky Squad. We've been missing your videos. I'm like, so we're not gonna recap Huntsville anymore, Richie. What's going on? I haven't seen any. He's busy.
Listen, I be trying to keep up as best I can, and thank the Lord for screeners because I'm able to review and then travel. Okay, so I might not be physically here, but I definitely try to get those reviews in. So you've been traveling as well. I mean, Paris for Jennifer's wedding and this, that, and the third. I'm like, no, 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 no. You're not gonna just talk about me.
No, listen, you and I were texting recently and just about like enjoying your life and like exploring the world and just like really reaping the fruits of your labor. And
Mhm.
you have inspired me to just be okay with taking breaks and loving life and experiencing more to this world than just working. I am a workaholic, you
I got
know,
this.
so you have inspired me to travel too. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Listen, I that makes me happy because if you're not taking care of yourself, Carlos,
Yeah.
who else is gonna do it?
Yeah, no, real talk, real talk. So no, so listen, I know you're going to Thailand March 1st through the 7th.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe I have time to come see you.
Ooh, come on through, y'all. Come on, listen. Don't play around because that would be a good time. Um, Especially now that you running around here showing the people how you do it behind the scenes, getting dressed and everything. So they can see what's going on with Carlos, down to his room. Okay. I thought that was actually dope, though. I feel like you're actually letting people into your life a bit more because I feel like we know you as Carlos, the producer, but
Mhm.
it's been interesting because I feel like through your interviews, we've been getting to know you more as a person
Mhm.
who you're kind of really good friends with. You say you love all the girls. I want to ask who you love more than some of the others, but I ain't gonna ask that because I know that's personal preference. But it is nice to see that side of you. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like
Thank
it's a
you.
little bit different.
Thank you. No, listen, I am very private, like very private.
Mhm.
You guys should blame my mother. May she rest in peace because my mother raised all of us to not tell anyone our business. My mom would say, y'all better not tell anybody anything that goes on inside this house. Like it's our business. So it's ingrained in me, and I'm a Libra and I'm private by nature. But I will say I just turned 45 years old and I'm so embracing my age and my life. And listen, I'm never going to be somebody who's going to like explore everything in terms of
Mhm.
like my showcasing my business to the world. But I will say I'm way more comfortable letting some people in. And they this is the crazy part. I had no idea how invested people were until I travel and people are like, where's your Africans? At the I'm like, wait a second, what is happening here? I was out with my best friend in New York City a few months ago, and he's short, dark skin, and just like a beautiful person inside and out. And a few raindrops were speaking to me, and they all said, "Is that the African?" I'm like, "No, that's my best friend. What are you talking about?" So, unfortunately, I opened up the door, and I have to tell y'all something, but I can't tell y'all everything.
No, it makes sense. And I do feel like for the most part, people who are in your community, they'll respect what you give.
Mhm.
And that's what I have found, for at least for myself. You know what I'm saying? You give, and then they respect that. You know what I'm saying? They get to see you outside of your normal element. But we're here to talk about your element, okay? I want to talk about these shows.
Go ahead. You can ask me anything. You know it's you.
I got a lot of questions.
Nothing is off
A
the
lot has
table for you, Richie.
happened. Love and Marriage Huntsville and Belle Collective are both back on at the same time. Is that extra stress for you?
It isn't. It isn't because I love the fact that, listen, I'm blessed to be able to be a producer in this space and having a hit show on a Friday night and a Saturday night. Baby, I'm blessed. Ain't no stress around me when it comes to that. And I'm able to sort of like release my baby to the world and have you guys watch it. So I'm thrilled, and we are entering to our. Listen, I'm so lost. I think it's season 4 or 5. I don't know about Belle Collective, which season we're in.
I feel like it's season 4.
Okay, let's say season 4. Season 4 of Belle Collective, and then for Huntsville, it's the continuation of the current season with the continuation of the girls' trip. So no, I am super stoked. This season of Huntsville has been so effing good. And I felt like we sort of reinvigorated the show. And people are loving it. And that's exactly what we're doing with Belle Collective. Dr. Antoinette Lyles is back making appearances. And we have a new Belle by the name of Selena, who is like a fan favorite. So this season of Belle Collective is another reinvigoration that we did with Huntsville. And all of you guys are loving Huntsville this season, and you will love the Bells. And Richie, I listened to you, and you will see a brunch.
Finally, oh my God. Listen, I'm telling you, Belle Collective is synonymous with brunch, Mississippi, Ferris Street, period. Okay? Those are the 3 other characters on the show, not to mention Selena. Okay? Can you tell us what went into the decision to bring her on board full time?
One thing about me, I'm active on social media to a degree. And although I don't listen to a lot of, let me say this, my audience are very passionate, some more than others. And we'll get to that later because I'm sure you're going to ask me about that. But my audience is very passionate, right? And they're very vocal, and they speak to me as if I am on their payroll, and I don't have a problem with that. They talk to me crazy, and that's fine. Because I see the love within it. Selena fans are large. I had no idea that Bring It On, that was on Lifetime, was such a big show with a huge following. So long story short, her fans said we want her to be a Belle. And one thing about me that you guys are seeing on my shows is I love to follow the reality. And the reality is like, she is the ex-wife of JJ. She is the mother of their children. She had a big altercation with So Gucci. As we're looking to add a new Belle to the show, why not add somebody that has all of that working for themselves? Not to mention she's gorgeous. She's such a sweetheart. She is a Belle. And one thing about this cast that makes me the happiest, honestly, my entire cast were born and raised in Mississippi. And that to me is the essence of this show being called Belle Collective, because they're all Bells. So Selena is bringing it. You get to see her fiance. You get to see her home life. You get to see her as a mother, as an ex-wife, as a woman who is dealing with the post-altercation with So Gucci. And the gag is she went to school with Aikisha and Tambra. Like, it was just like, I would have been a fool to be like, let me find somebody else. Like, you have somebody right up under your nose.
I'm so happy because I was screaming for this all last season, because I just felt like it told the complete story of that whole relationship, that whole family. And I think it actually adds to, I think, So Gucci and JJ, I think it adds to them as well. So we get to see a little bit more, I think. And I'm not going to give away too much because I did see the first episode, but I feel like it gets into their dynamic so much more
Yeah.
And I feel like it brings out another side of Soguchi, to be honest with you.
It does. It does. And you saw the first episode, and that's just a taste of it. And the other thing I will say is last season was very dramatic. There's a lot of conflict, and it did go a little dark, right? Because again, we just follow the reality. When you have a physical altercation, it's hard to get past that within weeks of shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So news to the Belle Collective fans is a much lighter season. It's still funny, it's still shady, still messy, but you'll see a much lighter season that makes you be like, oh, we're in a new world, and I can't wait for you guys to see it.
I'll say one thing that I feel like I loved, and I'm not gonna give away nothing, but things moved very fast in this episode. That made me happy, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like so many times we see shows and people are like hanging on to stuff, and I feel like there's things that happen in this episode that people are moving, like story is moving. So I love that. Antoinette, how did that come back around?
Latrice Rogers has been asking for Antoinette to come back ever since season 2. Dr. Antoinette Lyles left the show to focus on her business endeavors. And one thing about me, I'm always like, I want my cast to be happy. And if that means leaving the show to pursue something else, that's great. One thing that I love about my cast, anyone who has left my show has always said it had nothing to do with Carlos, the production. It had everything to either do with their own personal endeavors or some passionate audience members who watch the show and take things too far. But, listen, so when she said to me, like, I love you, she gave me a resignation letter on a letterhead. Like, I love her. And I said to her, like, you're welcome anytime to come back. So long story short, every season, she's been asked to come back. We thought we were this close last season, and she didn't show up. And I said, okay, fine. Latrice surprised us by saying, I'm filming with somebody today, and lo and behold, it was Antoinette. And she said, look, I'm ready to like dip my toe in. And baby, she came back and had a lot to say. And says it to their faces.
I'm wondering how that's gonna impact a certain relationship moving forward with two people that I want to be good again. I'm not going to get into it too much because I feel like it needs to play out, and it plays. Some of that happens in this first episode, but I feel like, oh my God, we're about to go backwards. But I ain't gonna say nothing.
Stay tuned.
It's stressing me out already.
I know, but I will say to you, it's a very unpredictable season. So just stay tuned.
Okay. You mentioned two things that I gotta like ask you about. The first thing is, okay, so we talked about how she kind of gave you the corporate, like to whom it may concern, I just can't return this season. And so she didn't burn that bridge, right?
No.
How do you handle a particular cast member who may be not burning a bridge, but definitely setting things on fire?
Yeah, listen, what I will say is this. I don't take anything personally because, and I do mean this, when you have my phone number, when you have access to me and you choose to tell everyone else your grievances and not me directly, it has nothing to do with me. You want people to jump on your side of things because you want the heat to be taken off of you. I'm very much aware of how this game plays. I've been in it for 16 years before some of these girls even had a job in reality television. So I am a founding father of it. And, so I know how this game plays. It's like having kids, when your child is mad at you and they pout and as a parent, you mad because you didn't get your way or you mad because of whatever happened. So I look at it like, oh, okay, and I go about my day because it has nothing to do with me. And the thing that I think is so interesting, no one ever asked these folks who may have agreements with me. does Carlos know you feel this way? Or like, did you tell him you? No one ever asked that because I also know this too. There's a second part to this. All you have to do is say my name and you're going to get the press you need. And let's have a real conversation. You're going to get the headline if you say anything negative about me because of the space that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get you pressed and it's going to get the heat off of you. Well, Carlos, this and that. Oh, girl or guy, I know that's right. So yeah, we don't hate you no more this week. Yeah. Hey, Carlos. Meanwhile, Carlos is minding his business and people love to say this about me. Why you acting like you don't know what's going on? Because I don't. Unless you call me directly, I know what you're doing. And go ahead. I would never, ever, ever blast anybody I work with publicly because I will call you. Ask any of my cast members. If I feel like there's something going on, I'll call you. Because that's what you do as a grown person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
but to answer your question, the other part of it, in terms of burning bridges, I don't take it personally. Gotcha. I love what Antoinette did because she was able to say, I'm leaving because of my own stuff. Yeah. And when she said, I want to come back, I said, great. I would love for everyone to be that way. I understand that a lot of people don't have that in them to behave in the most professional way possible. Mm-hmm. So in terms of burning a bridge, I wouldn't say people burn bridges with me. I do think at the end of the day, the same energy you had to blast me without letting you know how you felt in the first place, you do need that same energy when you apologize to me. I will say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. That is fair. Mm-hmm. So my next part of that question was, how do you handle the fan response to things that happen on social media? Specifically with regards to, either something that maybe a cast member says, mm-hmm. or just a general thought based on something that people saw in an episode. Mm-hmm. Because I would imagine, listen, I know you're busy because you're probably, it seems, I'm just using my context clues, y'all film, things are airing, y'all are filming. So I'm sure there's not a lot of time to really be sitting around digesting those things. But how do you compartmentalize that?
Great question. So I am grateful that I created a show that has resonated with a large audience. Love and Marriage Huntsville has been the #1 show on OWN for, I think, I may get this wrong, but I want to say for the past 4 or 5 years. And that's a blessing. And I don't take that for granted at all. And neither does my cast, right? So within that, there is a select few who take it very personally when it comes to how they feel about what's happening on the show or what's happening to my cast mates. And I understand and love the fact that you have a connection to, the show and the cast, and that's wonderful. I will never stand for anyone behaving in a way that disrupts somebody outside of the show. If you want to go on Twitter and read the girls and the guys for filth, we all signed up for this, me included, right? I never clap back at people. It is what it is. I get it, fine. When you take it a step further, though, Richie, and you really start to be maniacal in people's personal lives and you make up stories, that's taking it too far. I strongly believe, and listen, people may disagree with me when it comes to this, and that's fine. No one should be held responsible for another person's behavior. And that's how I feel. Yes, can people say stop or whatever? Okay, fine. That's fine. I get that too. But fundamentally, you should not blame anybody for the actions of other people, especially when they're grown. And there's a lot of people who are grown, who are grandmothers, great grandmothers, aunties and mothers and all those things who behave in the most oddest way You know, I shared this on my own podcast, Reality with the King. You know, me and Dr. Heavenly are recapping Huntsville for the foreseeable future because people took her colorful commentary and decided to harass her at her job. There's tons of content creators who have said to me, I don't review Love and Marriage Huntsville anymore because some of the audience members are too much. And that makes me sad. That makes me sad because I'm like, what is going on? Like, why can't people have an opinion? No one does that in DC. No one does it for Detroit. And no one does it for Belle Collective. For some reason, when it comes to Huntsville, it's the one show where people have come up to me. Someone personally said to me, girl, I love you, but you can't ever pay me to recap your show anymore. And I was like, is it that bad? And they said, it actually is that bad, Carlos. And that's like, it's going too far. It's going too far. It's a show. What? Why are you laughing?
You know why I'm laughing.
Oh, well,
Here's the thing. I get it. I get it.
does it happen to you?
Oh, you what? Come on now. Like, yes. But here's where I landed with that, right? I had to land at a place where, for me, this is a show that I love. The cast from Huntsville are the people who actually inspired me to get a real estate license. I ain't even really using that. I mean, I'm signed to a brokerage, but at the end of the day, I wanted to learn. And what they showed me was that you can do a lot of things. And this was one of the things I was always curious about. And I did it. You know, I used to joke, okay, is Martell ever gonna get that license? And I thought to myself, I'm joking about that, but let me see how easy this is while I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So it became that for me. And as a result, I had to look at it and say, I'm gonna review this show because I like these people. I like them. And I don't take the show personally. I don't take it with me home. Like, I mean, I'm reviewing it at home, but obviously I feel like I observe, but I don't have to absorb. That's what I try to tell people. And so if I can't be an example for people who want to review it, then what am I doing? So that's kind of where I landed on it. But I also respect the people that have chosen to bow out because I get it. It can be a tricky landscape to navigate. So that's where I landed on with it.
Yeah, no, and that's the reason why when Heavenly called me, and that's a good example. Heavenly, as y'all know, is a tough woman who's the fact that her tagline is, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna take it back, right? Because she knows that she says the craziest things that are truthful that may not be popular for other people to digest. If she can say, like, this is too much, and she's actually on reality television, that's when I realized enough is enough. Yep. Tiffany Whitlow left the show because people kept attacking her. Not to spoil anything, but you're gonna see this conversation appear this season and at the reunion of Huntsville, of someone deciding to like not be involved as much because of some of the audience. It's not okay. Why is it my show? Like, no one does this on the other shows, right? Like, what is it about? Like, I sit back and think about, like, what is it about Huntsville that has created this group of people to go the extra mile? I find it so so sad and disheartening that people don't want to review the show or stay on the show because of these group of people. And that will always make me sad.
I try to look at it as, you know, people are passionate, and it's a tough, like I said, it's a tough situation to navigate because you want people to be passionate. gift. Like,
Listen, my comments and the cast comments are never cut off. If you want to read us on the comments, go ahead. If there's bloggers, content creators who 1 week they love me and the next week they don't. I don't take it personally. I'm like, all right, that was a bad week for me. Let me keep it pushing. It's okay. I'm cool. I promise you. We're all cool with that. We hate you. Okay, girl. But to call someone's place of employment, call someone brand deals they're working with, don't work with this person. Like, how would you feel? And these are these people. So is it okay that I contact your job and have them read the mean tweets you say to me and ask them to fire you? Like, so if that's your thing, sis and sir, then is it okay for me, the harassment you give me and the cast, is it then okay for us to then call your place of employment and say, look what your employee is doing to me, and they should be held accountable for that? So I guess so, because that's playing fair. If you're gonna call somebody and say this person behaved on this show and did that, then they should be able to call your job and say this person tweeted me this. Because the stuff y'all say about me, I'll leave a happy Sunday post and they say the meanest things to me. I'm like, y'all don't take a day off? It's Sunday. Can y'all clock back in Friday and Saturday to read me? Can we at least on the Lord's Day worship the Lord, child? Y'all reading me on a happy Sunday message? Okay.
Why are you out here spreading peace and love on Sundays?
Child. But I love y'all anyway. Mwah.
What do you feel is, I know I got a different question for you. How do y'all determine who is in the cast photo? Let me ask you. The reason I say that is because I noticed, and I'm grateful, forever grateful, that y'all have decided to do new cast photos even after the break. I think that's great. Let me tell you why. Functionally speaking, as a content creator who makes content for the shows, I like new images. Don't make me have to search all over the interwebs to find an image of a person to put on a thumbnail. That's number one.
Okay.
But how do you determine? Because what I noticed was we saw Destiny, Melody, Martell, Kimmy and Maurice, Letitia and Marceau, and then we see Latricia and Ken. And I'm thinking to myself, where is Stormy and Nell and Chris? How do you determine who makes that cut?
Well, first of all, I don't determine that.
Okay.
Let's be clear. I get blamed for everything, Richie. And this is the truth. I don't set the photo shoot. I don't pick the photos. I don't decide. I literally do not have approval over any of those things. That's all network assigned. Okay. I produce the show and so it's not my decision. So that's a great question. It's not my decision. I too sometimes be like, so where's Nell and Chris Fletcher? This oh, you know, I'm like, what happened here? And you know what's so funny? This is true tea. I'll get calls. I'm mad. What happened? I'm not in the photo shoot. Why so? I'm like, so then I
wonder that happened.
That happens every season. That happens every season. And and to be fair, I get it. If I'm working 30 episodes, baby, I want to be in the photo. So I that's why when I get the call, I'm like, say less. Then I'm like, hi, I'm well. How are you? Good. So I have something to say to you. So-and-so called me. And, you know, so the beauty of my relationship with my cast is, I wish they all did this, but, you know, a large number of them call me if they feel some kind of way.
Okay.
Because they know that I'm going to make a call. I have the power, okay, to make a phone call. I do
Okay.
have that. I'm with y'all. I'll be like, oh, so it's definitely not my decision. It really isn't.
Fair. Okay. See, I think sometimes you get it because you're our only, like, for a lot of people, you're the only point of access, right? That they can put a face with. So it's like, Carlos, did you do it? So I think that's it. To be
And the
fair.
cast does the same thing. Did you? I'm like, now y'all know better. I get it from the audience, but child, my cast be calling me about the same thing, and I'm like, now y'all already know. But yes, so thanks for clearing that up.
Absolutely. The other thing I wanted to ask, and I know that you might have answered this question somewhere else, but I'm gonna ask it myself. I think people felt a certain type of way about Sonny and the man
Moses.
being on there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What went into the decision to kind of like open the space to tell their side of the story?
Absolutely, great question, and we do address this at the reunion.
Okay.
So, again, I follow the reality, and the reality was we were in talks to have Destiny return to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And within those talks, you find out what they're going through. Obviously, she shared what she was going through. My producer, the showrunner of the show, also shared with me separately to Destiny about Sonny marrying Moses. I never met Moses, as you all know, because I'm the one who told Destiny, honey, you're next to a pillow. Where's your man? Right? Like at the reunion. I never met Moses. So we learned through Destiny what she was going through. My showrunner tells me what's happening. And when it came to sharing that story, we did talk to Destiny about it. And I want to give Destiny so much credit for saying, that's my life. And for all the people in the world who says Destiny always hides something, I want to give Destiny all the credit. She said, let's go. Let's go. That's my life. And I'm willing to talk about it because that's what I'm going through.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. So courtesy of that and courtesy of Sonny and Moses saying, let's go. As a producer, that's your job, is to follow the reality. I don't pass judgment with nobody, right? I don't insert my personal feelings into the reality of someone's life. That's crazy for any producer who does that. It's our job to be unbiased. Like, that's the reality. Let's follow it. And again, it wasn't like we did it behind Destiny's back. She was fully aware. And so was Sonny and Moses. What I will say is it provided some great conversation about boundaries that you just never saw on reality television. You know, you never saw these conversations. I had no idea that my other cast members on my other shows felt so strongly about that storyline. Child, the DC cast was like, it's something Joy Carter said, but it was so great. She said, and I want to get it right. She said something about, so you act unprofessional and you get a confessional. And I was like, that's actually, you must be a songwriter, Joy, because that was actually like pretty.
I remember that line.
Yeah, that was. So the beauty of it is, as a producer, it's not our job to insert our personal feelings. This is the reality, and we followed it. And we're able to make, we were able to make sure we show both sides. But when I say to you, that is the number one storyline that people talk about for love and marriage, Huntsville, no matter where I go. I got a text from a very, very high up professional. And true story. This extreme high professional career woman said to me, did you know Sonny was good TV like this? I said, baby, I had no idea. Zero. I said, when Sonny was a producer, we would have I have meetings with my producers weekly,
Yeah.
a full staff meeting. And baby Sunny was like professional. She was quiet. She said what she said. She got Sunny had baby. I was like, Sunny, this is I had no idea, baby. Sunny. And people always ask me like, did you know she had that in her? I said, baby, no. But Sunny had it, baby.
You mentioned Joy. And what she said was actually at your live podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, because I get this question on, I would say, a bi-weekly basis.
Oh.
The people want to know if Love and Marriage DC is coming back.
Listen, the worst part about my job is I'm not able to disclose anything because I respect the people who pay me. And I don't go against the folks who pay me, child. But what I will say, and I said this on my podcast with Ashley Silva recently, you know, we started a process of looking at some folks. So, you know, listen, the thing about DC is this. Talk about activation. I mean, the audience loved DC. I love the fact that season 1, they were like, and then season 2 came and said, and then that long break came. They said, where's DC? And then the other thing was, well, you know, we also want to make sure that we see more of this. So what I will say is we're able to look at that, and there's so much more story to tell when it comes to DC. So I'm really, 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 really thrilled about it.
Will you be going on any more live tour dates?
Yes. And I want to be able to make sure that how can I say this? I'm working on some things that are very interesting to the Raindrops. We had a very, God is good, and thank you to the Raindrops and to everybody who bought a ticket, and thank you to Richie for coming, and Riley Knox for coming too with you. I love Riley so much. To have 5 cities that we did a tour on, and they were all sold out, was just a blessing. And it made me realize, like, okay, honey, you definitely have a lot to offer in this space. So I want to do something bigger because of that. And the team and I are talking about ways to like make it bigger. But yes, to answer your question, we are definitely going to start the second leg of the tour really soon. And you know, the guest I got coming up is setting the bar.
Okay. I'm gonna have to text you offline or something.
Already now, listen to the funny part. There may be, you may want to go to, for you, there's at least 3 that I know you're like, Carlos, I want to go. But there's one I know for sure you'll say, okay, if I had to choose one, can I go to this one? So, yeah, it's
okay, I'm gonna need those details, you know, so I can make my plans, okay, my travel plans, okay.
Yes. So no, Reality with the King tour is going to resume very soon. More than likely the top of 2025.
Okay, that's fair. That is
exclusive.
That is absolutely fair. Thank you very much for giving us that. Okay, there are questions as you know, I have to ask. Now, whether you can answer them That's a different story.
Oh Lord, here you go.
No, that was it. That was it.
Oh, I thought it was okay. I'm like, child, you got more that I'm not supposed to answer. Don't scare me now. But
No,
for you, I'll find a way to do it just in case.
no. You have answered everything. Thank you so much. Anything you want to share before we go? I mean, I know you kind of do a good job of communicating what's going on, but still.
Yeah, so no, Belle Collective every Friday, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on OWN. No breaks. You get to see all of the episodes concurrently. No breaks. No breaks. So you get to see that. Love and Marriage Huntsville, we're finishing things off this Saturday, 8 o'clock, 7 Central, the continuation of the girls' trip. This second half is so explosive. The reunion we taped was so explosive. I'm still wowed by the reunion. I mean, let me tell you about Huntsville cast. They're the best. They're just the Huntsville cast. I when I say to you, I love them so much. And they show up, they show out, and they make me laugh. They really make me laugh. So you have a great reunion. Belle Collective, the #1 most underrated female ensemble show on air. They are the sheer definition of clocked in. If you want to know what a clocked in cast looks like, Belle Collective, they clock in. You saw the first episode. They clock in. So you're gonna see that. Every Tuesday, I'm dropping more interviews. We just dropped Laura Gavon that broke the internet and still continues to break it. I have one dropping this Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday, and then no, I had to take a 6-week break. We talked about this. I needed a break. But I'm back. I'm back. So Reality with the King is dropping more of that every Tuesday. And then my Monday Night Live, every Monday, I will have a special guest. So this Monday, I have 2 special guests.
You can't give us no hint.
Let's just say Belle Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville is back.
All right. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, this is my last question because you brought this up. Who is going to surprise us the most at the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion?
Kimmy.
All right there. All right.
The K stands for clocked. Kimmy clocked in, baby.
Ooh.
Oh, listen, it was a great reunion, but the one you guys would be the most surprised would be, I would say Kimmy for sure. For sure.
That is fascinating. I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. Because Kimmy don't ever really go there like that.
Ooh. I said, Kimmy, did you have a V8? Like, what is that? I'm dating myself, child. I'm so old. Not a V8, honey. Yes.
We the same age. Okay, like.
We get it.
Carlos, thank you so much. We're gonna have to circle back at the top of the year.
Yes.
Of the year, so you can make all of your live podcast announcements, and we can get the tea on these reunions that I know that should be coming around that time.
Yeah. I got you, and thank you, Richie, for your endless support. Always. I love you so much. Thank you a million times over.
No, I love you as well.
The bells are back and they're ringing. They're clocked in. Love and Marriage Huntsville, and stay tuned for more updates.
All right. Thank you so much, Carlos, Skye Squad, and Raindrops. We are out.